Okay guys, this is Casey and welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be a brief but yet to the point video. We have a lot of things going on in the market right now, including today. So if you guys are not aware, the Federal Reserve has announced that another bank, a third bank has been taken down, has gone belly up, and that's Signature Bank. So right now we have a total of tally of three. We have SP Bank that has gone belly up. We had another smaller cryptocurrency bank that has went belly up. We now have Signature Bank that has gone belly up. And unfortunately, today we have something else that is drastically going on that no one knows what's happening, and that's with Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab, I'm sure everyone knows about, is down drastically. As a matter of fact, if you take a look over the past 5 days, the stock has gone from $76 to $46, and there is no yet publicly released news as to why. There are some fears that Charles Schwab may be the additional canary in the coal mine that is the major famous bank that is next to fall. We're not entirely sure yet. Again, there hasn't been any news or anything like that, but we're very concerned as to why the stock is down this much, this aggressively. Yes, all of the financial stocks hit very hard, but particularly with Charles Schwab, there's been no mention of it. So that's something that we're going to continue to monitor and to have a very close look out on. So as of right now, we have regulators that are racing to ensure that all of the depositors' money is protected. The Federal Reserve has already stated that they are going to protect all of the assets of the depositors of SP Bank, of Signature Bank, who had money in there, including the non-FDI insured. So if you had $4 million in the account in your bank for your payroll, and normally $250,000 would be covered, the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has already stated that everyone is going to be covered. So that's a positive sign. The more larger concern right now is how large is this containment? How large is the exposure or the contagion, if you will? We don't exactly know really what's going on. We know that the Federal Reserve still has the 10% the 10% Federal Reserve amount requirement that is still lifted. We know that as of right now, there are concerns in the market that there's going to be a continual spread of the over leveraging that we just don't understand quite to what degree. We do know that also on Twitter, Michael Berry has stated a few days back that he thinks we're going to find another WorldCom. Now, if you guys don't remember, WorldCom was an extremely large, corporation back in the day that was really basically cooking the books. They were doing it legally, but they were doing it unethically to the point to where they were misleading investors and the public to what their actual profits were. And so he thinks that there's another one in there that's very large. Could that be Charles Schwab? We don't know. But we also know that the Sensex and the Nifty indexes, which are overseas indexes for other countries, they're plunging. They're 5-month lows right now very quickly over Silicon Valley fears that they think that the contagion is going to continue to spread to international markets. So right now, all the banks are hit very hard. We've had three banks that have shuttered in literally under a week. One of them was over 250 billion, $300 billion in market cap. And right now, we just don't understand to what degree, but we do know that the Federal Reserve is trying to make stopgap measures to ensure that everyone's money is protected, at least from a depositor standpoint. So what would I do if I were you, if I had my money in Charles Schwab? I'm going to be honest with you. If my money were in Charles Schwab right now, I would be looking to take every dollar out of it. And the reason I say that is not because I don't think that necessarily the Federal Reserve is going to backstop it, but you don't want to necessarily bank on that taking place. We don't, these type of situations, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. We don't really know what the Fed may or may not decide. It is a bank by case basis, very similar to what we experienced back in 2008. The Federal Reserve built out a lot of banks, and then some of the banks they didn't. Now, I do know that the Chairman Yellen, Secretary Yellen, did say that the taxpayers were not going to foot the bill of this bailout, and they just basically stated that they opened up a separate program. And overly technical terms simplified is it appears as though that they're going to tax the banks and cause them to pay for the bailout. So it's still up in the air. I do know that there's also some talks of the bonds that the banks were in that have lost value, that the Federal Reserve was going to allow them to sell those back at the original value. So basically, that's the Federal Reserve saying, hey, listen, you bought these bonds at 100,000, they've dropped to 40,000. I tell you what, you can sell them back to us at 100. How's that sound? So that's pretty much what they're doing. I did know there's also some talks of on the back end of having the bank get sold off or auctioned off to a larger bank. So there are some discussions right now. They were hoping specifically to have the SV Bank, and I believe even also Signature Bank auction off to a larger bank by this Monday, but I don't think that yet has happened. There's probably still some discussions on the back end. But overall, guys, keep your head on the swivel, be safe. In this situation, what I encourage you guys to not do is panic. Keep in mind that panicking is something that causes a lot of irrational decisions. Yes, it's very difficult, particularly if you have a lot of money in these accounts. You may want to look at additional measures with potentially moving out as much as you can into a larger bank, at least as of right now, and then just kind of being as fluid as possible. The worst thing to do, I think, is to go out there and to just completely panic and to start withdrawing money out of banks that haven't even announced to say that they're going to have any issues. We don't want to have complete runs on the banks, but we do want to ensure, and the Federal Reserve has done a great job of this, ensuring that the depositors' money is protected, and even beyond $250,000 FDIC. So that's a positive. So listen, guys, keep your head on a swivel. I will be releasing additional videos as this comes out. Obviously, this is a very fluid situation. So if there's any additional news or any critical updates that come out later today, I may be releasing a video, or tomorrow, depending on what takes place. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well to get notifications for the updated videos, updated releases. And I will talk with you later. Take care and stay safe.